Hi everybody. Okay, this video is just a couple of my thoughts on the storylines going on in Y&R. Now, if you like things in a linear fashion, this might not be the one for you because I'm gonna jump around to people we've seen, people we haven't seen, and not everywhere. So, be forewarned here. And I don't know how long I'm gonna be, so I'm not even gonna give you a guesstimate. So, forewarned. Okay. Now, I know that in soap operas we have a different reality than real life. So I always try to keep that in mind, but sometimes I don't like how you're supposed to believe whatever they put in front of you because it's just not believable. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a couple actually. Okay. Number one, Elena Dawson, the character. Now, I gotta say, Brittany Sarpy is a great actress. I gotta start off with that. However, I don't think the writers are fully utilizing her character, and I really don't think they have from the beginning because poor Elena was with um, Devon, which I think that's why Brittany Sarpy and Brighton James are a real life couple because they probably had a chem test and it was off the charts in real life. So it led to them being a couple. Now I may be totally off base, but that's just my read of it. Okay. Okay, so getting back to the storyline. She was with Devon, but then Devon cheated on her. So they broke up. And his next relationship was with Abby, which at that point we didn't know it was going to end in marriage, but that was the next relationship, right? Okay, so then Elena moves on to Nate, Dr. Nate Hastings, which is another interesting turn because Nate and Devon are cousins. So, that's kind of messy. Okay, but somehow they all get over that. She's with Nate, and he's supposed to be the good guy, the doctor. But then something happens, and he doesn't have function in his hands anymore. So he can't be a surgeon. And I think that really changed his character because I guess, now this is another assumption on my part, but I think that when you're poised to be something for a lifetime and you go to all the schooling and everything, and then it turns out you can't do that thing, you kind of lost for a minute. You have to find your footing again, which is understandable. The part that's not understandable is that he cheated on Elena with somebody else. And then what's worse is when she called him on it, he tried to be all innocent, like he didn't know what she was talking about. So that led to a really bad breakup because, and I think I said this when it happened. I'm pretty sure I did because I said, how dare that man act like the woman's crazy when she's calling it? And he's acting like, oh no, I didn't do that. You didn't see that. Why would you do that? Um, Again, for further story development, which I understand, but sometimes I don't like it how they throw people under the bus. Um, okay, so that's one thing that's unbelievable. Another thing that's unbelievable is Jill Abbott, right? Okay, and the reason I say this is because Jess Walton, again, is a great actress. I've seen her most of my life. I kind of grew up on Y&R. I've said this before, I think, but the reason I wasn't that connected to Y&R is because in my area, they always showed it right after noon. And most of the time, afternoon, I was in school. So whatever storyline was going on, I had to try to catch bits and pieces of it. But I do remember Jess Walton as Jill was a force to be reckoned with, and she still is. But here's the point I'm getting to. She acts like Chancellor is her life, and she has, you know, she cares what happens to the company too. But then it feels like she just folded when Victor offered her a lot of money. Now, as far as the whole Billy situation, because Billy is her son, right? Okay, I I kind of understand where Billy's coming from, but I kind of understand where Jill's coming from too, because Billy has shown her in the past decades that he cannot really be trusted so far because he makes very impulsive decisions. When he starts drinking, he drinks a lot and he's not the same person. So she has a lot of evidence to pull from to make the determination that maybe he's not fit to run Chancellor. And the only reason he was put in the position in the first place is because she was having health issues. The character Jill was having health issues and she needed someone to fill her seat. Now, I just said I understand where Billy's coming from too, because I do. Because, and I talked about this before a little bit, but I'm going to expound on it. Because the reason why I think Billy has characteristic of thinking that no one believes in him is because they kind of don't. I mean, whenever something happens with Billy, around Billy, his whole family, different family members, blame everything on him. They don't see their part in it. But there's another part that I wish wouldn't happen. I feel like they write the character to lean on that as a crutch all the time, and it just gets kind of old after a while. I mean, I'm sitting here in front of the TV saying, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but if you would take responsibility for some of your actions, maybe people would treat you differently. So there's a little bit of both, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Now, this is a part that I don't really agree with. And see, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I always say this because I don't. But I find it really awkward that first, let's see, Sally and Adam were all hot and heavy. I mean, they were together, they got pregnant, they lost their child, the whole thing. And then they were still together after that. And then after one night of whatever with Chelsea and Adam, well, Adam lied to her too for a while. That could be the the thing, the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. But I just don't understand why they're not together, like at all anymore. And I mean, not as a. See, this is where real life, REEL and REAL life kind of blur, because I don't know if the two actors, Courtney Hope and Mark Grossman, are together as a couple or not. Because even when they weren't like together all the time, they were in scenes sometimes. Now they don't even look like they're in scenes anymore. So I don't know if something's going on there. Now, it may be just my projection, so keep that in mind too. I'm just saying it's odd. Um, yeah. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, the Nate and Amy Lewis storyline. Okay, that kind of left us on a cliffhanger on that one because she asked him to help him. She asked her, him, she asked him to help her with telling her son that his father is not his father. That whole thing. And it left us with Nate saying, I don't think I'm the man for this. But then we're just left in the dark with what happened with that. So that's a loose end. And see, I don't know. We're getting to the end of November, and then so it's going to be December. So theoretically, they have about a month to clear that up. And I just don't like to end the year with loose ends. So that's one I'd like for them to tie up or something. All right, I guess.